McCauley's wife ended up bonding him out about 2.5 weeks ago.
I never criminally did anything. How did I end up in jail and not in a crazy bin, in a psych ward? Like there was never any criminal action other than terroristical threats.
That's what I wanted. That was the money shot. Oh my God, dude.
Well, the Uber used to be a little more lawless.
Yeah.
Uber used to be a little bit more wild, wild west. Like when Lyft first started, it used to be that you would put out, like it was like only in San Francisco, right? And I remember this because I was on acid in San Francisco, and I had downloaded Lyft for the first time because someone told me I could get a ride on it. And I put up an offer from this place to this place, $8. And then someone messaged back, I'll do it for 12. And then I got a Lyft driver that would come to me. It was like a libertarian dream where it was the free market. You were arguing back and forth on how much it should cost to take me to point A to point B. And there was this like coffee shop that all the Lyft drivers hung out at, and the taxi drivers would like harass them and stuff because the taxis hated Lyft and Uber. It was wild. I got an Uber driver one time, and he was telling me just different stories about himself. And then he goes, I've gotten in trouble plenty of times because I show a lot of my riders my whip. And I was like, oh, he's going to pull his junk out. Like, I was like, oh, no, I didn't say anything. He goes, I got 2 bullwhips in the back of my trunk here, and I like to pull it. I can show you when we park. And I was like, maybe, man. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, let's just get me there. Like,
let's focus on the priority of getting me there, and then we can talk about your whips thing after.
Yeah, get me to my dead-end job first, huh?
Yeah. But he tells me, he goes, I like to practice the whip. I've had some complaints about it because I want to show people the whip. I keep it in my trunk so we're all safe. And he goes, and usually when I'm waiting around for rides, I'll just hang out next to my car in an empty parking lot, and I'll just practice whipping. And I was like, man, you shouldn't tell people that. Like, you shouldn't tell people you practice whipping like that. And then he told me the story. He goes, I was practicing whipping, and this car sees me.
You gotta be ready for the job you want.
Yeah, he's like, I imagine myself in more of like an Indiana Jones style.
Oh, I see myself as an overseer.
He tells me he's in this parking lot practicing his whipping, right? And a car sees him, and then he lights up, and it's a cop car, and the car drives towards him, but he hits a curb and knocks off his bumper, and he says the cop turned off his lights and drove away embarrassed. And I was like, dang, he was intimidated by your whipping, dude. He saw you whipping, his bumper got busted. Yeah, exactly. I was whipping so good, I scared the police away, man.
You watched me whip and nay, and was like, I'm out.
Yeah, and then he takes me to the spot. I was actually going to Shed to do a comedy show at a barbershop. That's how good comedy was going. And
as opposed to now, which is
I wish I would die to be on that barbershop show, please.
I don't do barbershops anymore. I do barbershops and record stores combined.
I would kill to be on a good barbershop show right now. Are you kidding me? Really, really light it up around the buzz of them razors and trimmers and clippers.
If I could just have some random person's hair in my socks at the end of the day. If I could just get some random people's hair in my shoes performing comedy.
That's all I want.
That's all I want.
I don't want to be paid for this. I just want to feel like I did something for the day.
I just want to feel like I got out of the house.
I just like getting out of the house.
I just like to practice with my whip.
Yeah, but the whip guy scared me. Not like scared me, but I was like, this is weird. And then he told me the final story where he says, I've gotten in trouble because I was trying to make friends. And I was like, if a guy in his 40s says that he got in trouble for trying to make friends, you probably weren't making friends with the right people. No. And so I was like, open up, buddy. Like, what's going on?
What's going on?
And he tells me this story where he's taking this girl home, and she's incredibly drunk. And then he says, I wanted to make sure that she got into the house. So after I saw her got in the house, I went up to her door and knocked on it. And her roommate answered and was screaming at me saying, I shouldn't have followed her to her door. And they were just being so uppity about it. And I was like, oh God, you're going to go back and kill them, aren't you? That's all I could think. It's like, if your roommate comes home and she's so drunk and then gets into the house and then the Uber knocks on the door and was like, hey, I'm here to check on homegirl. It's like, no, I'm about to protect homegirl right now. Yeah. I think that's exactly what happened. But
yeah, absolutely.
He's feeling guilty about it and told me about it. And I was like, all right, man, why don't you keep stuff like that to yourself?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, dude, Uber drivers, they'll just tell you everything.
They'll spill their beans.
But people also confess to Uber drivers a lot.
Yeah, I've cried to an Uber driver when I'm
What
drunk.
is someone you've driven Uber? What's something they've confessed to you?
So I was driving, and I talk about this a little on stage, but I'm driving, and I picked this guy up who's in a suit. He's like a businessman, but it's late at night, maybe like 10:30 during the week.
Yeah.
And we're not talking, right? Like I don't talk to them unless they talk to me because I don't want to talk to Uber drivers.
5 stars, my man.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless.
And so it's silent in the car. And then all of a sudden this guy just pipes up and he goes, I think I'm going to leave my wife.
Oof.
Do you want to get into it? Like, okay.
Yeah, he does. He wants to get into it.
Mentally, he's already left his wife.
Yes.
If he's talking to the Uber driver, he just likes to say it out loud at this point.
He's practicing saying it. He's practicing telling his kids that they have 2 Christmases now.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
We just talked about it. He told me about how, you know, she doesn't pay attention to him anymore and he feels neglected and he's around all, you know, a lot of younger women at work. And then I dropped him off and he didn't tip me. So fuck him. I'm on the wife's side.
Yeah, for real.
You know?
Also,
Yeah,
if you're
maybe
just
that's why.
around younger women and that's why you want to leave your wife, probably a bad dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm around younger women. Oh, do you think you have better options now? Is that what's going on? Did you make a vow until the deal was death do us part or if better pussy comes around? Was that the deal for you, buddy?
Yeah.
I like the idea. He's like, yeah, these younger women just talk and pay attention to me. Oh, the people who you pay to have to work with you. Also, how much hours a week are you working? 45 hours a week in an office? So the women that you just see more than your wife because of capitalism. Yeah, and they're monetarily required to communicate with me to make rent. Yeah, they just... I don't know. They just seem to want to talk to me more.
There's this type of Christian dude that gets married super young, like at 18 or 19.
Yeah.
And then they go and they finish college and they kind of come into themselves and they start to be a young man on their own for the first time. And they might get their first female attention or they have their first like secular female friend. And then their whole world collapses and they go, oh man, I never got to be a young guy. And I've seen this happen so many times growing up in a fundamentalist household where that guy does that and then leaves his wife to try to chase pussy and then realizes chasing pussy is actually way harder than you'd think it is when you've never actually lived in the secular world. And your entire life, you're told that like secular women are loose women that just want to have sex all the time. And then you leave your wife that you thought you loved and then try to go and date and fuck and realize, oh man, I should have just stayed Christian. I love seeing that. And I know it's like, oh, but there's so much things that attach that. No, buddy, you made a promise, and then you broke the promise for pussy. You don't deserve good pussy, buddy.
None.
Okay, dude? A promise is a promise, all right? Doesn't matter if better pussy comes around, my man. Grass is always greener on the other side of those thighs, all right?
Right.
Been saying that since day one. You were telling us about an Uber driver that you were the passenger for.
Yeah, dude, I was a passenger. It was in Jersey. It was this big fat guy. He was like 350 pounds. His name was Frank. And when me and my buddy get in the car, and he's driving us to the bar at the Jersey Shore. We're just talking to him, and he's like, yeah, dude, I fucking love driving Uber. I got girls sucking my dick almost every night. Which is such a fucking wild move.
Yeah.
Like,
Uber driver's the new baseball player.
yeah, I feel bad because, you know, the ride is already paid for by the time they get in the car, right? Like, they're doing it for the love of the game.
They're not...
Right?
Oh, the women blowing him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, listen, if it's a taxi driver, you know, you spend all the money at the bar, you got to get home, I get it. But Uber, like, you've already tipped him, right?
It's on the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And so then we get dropped off at the bar, and then we hang out, and then later that night we call another Uber, hoping it's Frank. And it's some regular, like, handsome dude. Find out he's a cop. We start chatting him up, and we're like, yeah, we had this crazy Uber driver earlier that was telling us how much pussy he gets driving Uber. And the guy turns around and goes, you talking about Frank?
Just a legend in the community. Dude's a pillar in the community.
He goes, yeah, me and Frank, we go paddleboarding. And I'm like, that's nuts.
That's so funny.
Yeah, me and Frank, I blow him all the time. You know, what can I say?
I like that he just has that charm.
Yeah.
He just has that charm. He goes, yeah, I might be in the front seat, baby, but you're thinking about getting right into this little fucker right here and sucking me off. Man, I did date this is a true story. This is a true story. I dated a girl who told me that she hooked up with an Uber driver in a similar situation where like she was like, got an Uber home from the bars, we were chatting, he was hot, and I said, do you want to come upstairs? And I had sex with him, and I was like, well, I'm dating you right now, so this sucks. This sucks to hear. That the difference
Jesus
between
Christ.
fucking you and not fucking you is picking you up in a car.
Dude,
I was like, that's a bummer.
I did that when I drove Uber before I met my wife. Like,
You got laid driving Uber?
Yeah.
This is real?
Yeah.
Tell us
Yeah,
about that.
it's
well,
real.
no, it feels weird to do it like that night. So I didn't want want to do because they're drinking, you're sober. It's no.
You're good enough to drive. No way.
Yeah. So what happened was I picked this girl
So
up.
then I started
after a
driving
date.
drunk.
Yeah, exactly. I keep whiskey right in my center console. No, I'm driving this girl home. I picked her up from like a very nice date, and the dude was the one that paid for the Uber. It was like under whatever, Josh, and then this girl gets in, and we're just chatting, and I'm like, oh, you just had a date? She goes, yeah. I was like, how'd it go? She goes, he was very nice, and he spent $250 on dinner, but I just don't really see anything there. I'm like, fair enough, and we just start chatting, and then we like set a date for the next day, and then I went out with her, but like that dude tipped me well too. I felt so bad for him.
That's awesome, dude.
Oh,
I love
man.
how guys are like, oh, girls only want money. Nobody. You can spend money and just be a cooler guy driving an Uber and lose it to a Jimmy, buddy.
Yeah.
You can girls only want me for my money. No, they don't. That's just all you have to offer. My homeboy was just her ride home, okay, dude? Get out of here.
So one time I called an Uber and it was starting to snow, and the Uber driver was like, man, it's like really snowy out. I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah. I'm like, I just moved here. I don't really like know how to drive in the snow. And I was like, oh yeah, it's bad. And then she's like, yeah, like I just don't really feel safe driving on the roads. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty icy. And she's like, yeah, I wish I like had a place to like go and like wait out all the snow. And I go, don't we all? And like eventually we get to my place and she's like, oh, this is such a cool apartment. I'm like, oh yeah, all right, fine. Do you want to come upstairs? And I did. It took me like 7 tries, and then we went up to my place, and yeah, it was. So I hooked up with an Uber driver.
Yeah.
Am I the only person not having sex in Ubers? Am I the only
We didn't
person?
fuck in the Uber.
Yeah.
We didn't fuck in the car.
Yeah, I gathered, Sam. You went to your apartment. You're getting dates. I'm getting an Uber. I'm just getting a low rating because I'm trying to talk to him about Bush. Like, he hasn't been president in 15 years. I'm like, well, his
Yeah, I'm
family
just
still
blowing
has
Frank.
power. Me, I'm sucking Frank's dick trying to talk about politics.
He's like, I'm gonna give you a low rating if you bring up Iraq again. Just suck my dick.
I'm not gonna stop, Frank. You don't know anything about the infrastructure blueprints before 9/11 even happened, Frank. Wow, Frank's got a massive hog. I'm both handing Frank right now, dude.
You're generous to Frank.
Frank, well, dude, if he's getting his dick sucked that much, he's hogging.
What kind of car does Frank drive?
Toyota Corolla.
Of course.
That's an economic car,
Yeah, man.
man.
But like, I feel like if you're Frank and you know that you're getting this many blowjobs, you would spring for the SUV, have a little more room.
Hey, if nothing's broke, don't fix it, man.
Really nice.
I don't want to mess up whatever ingredients are equaling this 350-pound guy getting blowjobs so much he's just telling random dudes about it. I wouldn't mess with that magic, frankly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, it's a strict recipe. It's
Why would you want to risk it, dude?
salt, pepper, little garlic powder. You just keep it moving.
I'm getting blowjobs at work. No, I don't think I'll be switching jobs or any ingredients pretty soon.
Yeah. The job that I decide when I work.
Yeah, I pick my own schedule and I choose when I come. And welcome to the pod.
This is the pod, guys. This is the Bad News podcast. I'm Sam Castillo with me,
JT Kelley.
and our wonderful producer.
What's up, Jimmy?
What's up, Jimmy? Jimmy Clifford.
Jimmy Clifford. The only Uber driver I know getting laid, driving Uber. I don't know why I'm jealous. I have a beautiful wife and a great life. I'm not desiring more sex than I have. I guess for me, when I hear about everyone just driving around an Uber getting laid, I go, what's wrong with old JT? What's wrong with how come no Uber driver says, hey buddy, why don't you want to come up here and suck my dick? You know, they just want to show me their whips and tell me about how they barely missed out on gations. You know what I mean? People don't like when I shorten allegations to gations. When I say, oh, he caught gations, they go, what? And I go, oh, gations, like allegations. They go, you saying allegations so much you got to get a slang for it? It's just fun. It's just fun way to talk about something a little more serious, you know?
You know, what can I say? It comes up a lot with me.
We do stand up. You're going to know a lot of people that caught gations, okay?
I need a shorthand for time.
yeah, I say gations more than I say good set. All right, that's stand-up comedy, baby. That's stand-up comedy. Man, I love when people have a really, really, really bad set. Like when they just like bury it and they have like horrible energy, but then come off stage happy as if they did good. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite. Because I have the same demon. I also am delusional. I also, live in a different world than reality. Mine's a little different. Mine's not on stage. I assume everyone's my best friend until they tell me otherwise, right? I assume everyone loves me and they want to get dinner with me whenever they're free until they tell me otherwise. So I get that. But on stage, to see just a room of people go like, and then maybe a couple chuckles, and then get off stage and say word for word, I got the laughs that were there. I go, buddy, maybe you should get into paddleboarding or something instead of comedy.
Crazy. Maybe you should drive Uber.
Yeah, hey.
Like maybe.
The best comedians you see are going to have bad sets, right?
For sure.
You're going to do poorly on stage. That's going to happen no matter what, how long you've done stand-up, where you've done stand-up, how you good are at, how good you are at it. But if you've only ever had bad sets that you think are good, I think you should do improv.
I think you should quit.
No, if you're doing stand-up for a long time and you're not good, if you quit, you'll die. That's why they keep doing it.
Ugh.
They can't figure anything else out.
I mean, but here's the thing. What's wrong with death?
Yeah, brother, don't tempt me.
I mean, sometimes it's easier.
What's
to
wrong
keep
with
going.
that sweet
It's easier
release?
to keep going with something that's not working than
Mhm.
it is to end something that's dysfunctional.
Wow, that's a anti-divorce Protestant mindset right there.
It's like it's easier to like just keep going with a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's braver to quit some things. Some things it's braver to quit.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's speaking truth.
We're
to power.
told like, oh, don't be a quitter. Sometimes you should be a quitter.
A lot of people need to quit. A lot of people need to quit doing a lot of things. In fact, if you're listening to this podcast, quit taking your meds.
Quit. Stop.
Cold turkey. Quit taking your meds.
It.
There's someone in your walls.
No mas.
There's someone in your walls. Quit
No
taking your meds.
more.
The medicine is preventing you from seeing the people in your walls that want to take what you have and what you value.
Quit escaping the truth.
Stop. If you're driving listening to this right now, close your eyes. Close your eyes and imagine a world where you're not on antipsychotics and you can finally have those voices back that are telling you what the Lord wants you to do, to act as the right hand of God.
If you're driving right now, close your eyes. You already know where you need to go.
let the good Lord guide you.
Stop doubting yourself and just trust your hands.
Man, can I show you the first video?
Yeah.
I sent this to Sam. I sent it to Jimmy too.
Yeah, I guess we could refresh or.
I
or
was
click.
out of my
Yeah,
mind
there you go.
excited when I saw this. I guess it's kind of one of those older videos that finally came up again and just came across. I think it was my TikTok feed or my like Reddit feed or something.
This was like a
that.
month ago.
This happened a month ago?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it happened last year.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
no, this happened in 2019.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Hey, brother, time is a flat circle, right? But I saw this. I was so excited. This feels like the most creative worms in this guy's brain. I love when you can see someone's demons act out in real time.
Yeah.
So the story here. Well, let's watch the video before we go through the story because it's funnier if you see the video without context and then learn about what's actually happening there. God, it is. I think that the news cycle has changed the way I view the world for the better. You know?
For the better.
Oh, yeah. I want my brain to be programmed by guys that used to do sports programming that are trying to get me mad about domestic politics. I love that. I think it's made my brain smarter.
To sportify everything.
Sportify everything. Hey, 10 years ago, I didn't know what electoral colleges are. And now I'm a raging Cajun about it. Electoral colleges, why not?
What is the Electoral College?
I don't really know. Here's what I think the electoral college is, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. Does that sound fair?
Look, I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is?
I know it's involved in elections, but I don't know what it does.
I think
I don't know.
it's a series of unelected delegates that are told to vote by the majority of voters, but they don't actually require them to vote in alignment with the voters that they're representing.
So you're saying
Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. That doesn't sound right.
No, I think that is right. That is exactly what the electoral college is.
I can.
That sounds really bad, though.
Well, what it is it's like a way of giving states that are smaller more power, so then all the bigger states don't just swallow them up completely.
Rhode Island's trying to make Texas gay. Rhode Island's this big, making all those laws that make us gay. That's just not fair.
Yeah, man. Rhode Island's trying to make you gay.
CIA.
Your wife is trying to make you gay.
Wife's trying to make me gay.
Your job is trying to make you gay.
Jobs are trying to make me gay. Dude, ever since I started going through puberty, everything's been trying to make me want to have sex with men.
Ever
It's
since
insane.
I, started, really looking at people.
Yeah. It is, and that's the problem.
Why is it the guy who's washing my windows with at the side of the red light? Why is he trying to make me gay?
You guys know what gang stalking is?
What?
I'm
No.
pretty sure gang stalking. I'm pretty sure that the FBI has hired extremely hot men to gang stalk me everywhere. Because every day I just notice, oh, that's a beautiful man I want to have sex with. Oh, that's a beautiful man I wish I was kissing. And I know that some 3-letter agency is sending these bad actors out trying to, make me want to have sex with men. I say not going to happen.
No, it's one of these deep state goons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not me. I'm straight as hell. But like you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You're enemy number one.
Yeah. They're trying to shoot those lasers in your brain that make you want to kiss men.
Oh my god, dude. So what's this first video?
Let's watch political hero number 1. This guy's
This
insane.
is a prime example of the habitual corruption and conspiracy within the key Punisher and Catherine K. Aloha's prosecutor's office and Judge Todd W. Eden's kangaroo court. I was not given a fair trial as stated in a motion for judgment of acquittal and or new trial. File stamped on March 11, 2019. Furthermore, I was given this incompetent court-appointed attorney, Kichigi Tomi, who prepared my defense with me only 19 days before my trial. 19 days he worked on my case. Now this kangaroo court is giving me a life sentence for me trying to protect and defend myself against the attack from 3 guys.
Pause.
In essence,
So for those of you listening, what you're seeing is a man probably in about his 40s who is not just in blackface, it's homemade blackface with permanent marker covering his entire face, sitting in court reading
So
this
wait,
off.
that's permanent marker?
That's permanent
so
marker.
he took a Sharpie and just went like
He
that?
Sharpied his entire face while in county jail to protest. All right, just wanted to make that clear as what you're not seeing if you're listening and not watching.
It's already...
in essence, treating me like a black man.
And it cuts to his attorney.
The reason why I'm like this is because I prepared myself to play my part in your kangaroo court. Treating me like a black man, so today I'm gonna be a black man.
Oh my god.
Also, okay, do you guys want to know what he did?
What did he do? He said he did...
He was in a road rage incident where he was the road rager in Hawaii, and he got out of his car with a knife and pepper spray and attacked 3 guys and tried to kill them. He tried to kill 3 guys in a road rage incident and says, "You guys, I'm the victim." That's so funny. The judge has a quick response right at the end here that's like, oh, so funny.
And that's about it, I guess, for now. Oh, also, I asked this kangaroo court to put a stay on my sentencing pending my appeals. And who's gonna do my appeals?
Oh man, the judge in the other video I saw of the same thing, he goes, he attacked 3 people. And then it clips away. But this guy killed me, dude. This guy just absolutely killed me. Man. Because, like, if he was innocent and he did this, it would get attention. And people might be like, oh, this crazy guy needs help. But he's just guilty. And so it just made him look, I don't know, maybe in the eyes of the court, a little bit worse. I love this guy. One of the funniest people I've seen ever. 2019, man. Before COVID took everything from us.
Yeah, Mark Char stabbed 3 in road rage confrontation.
He attacked 3 people and then says,
He
"You guys
succeeded.
are
He stabbed all
crucifying
3
me."
of them too.
Yeah. Oh, he did stab all 3?
He stabbed. It's the first line right here. Mark
Oh,
Char
man.
stabbed 3 in road rage confrontation.
What a demon from hell.
That means 2 of them weren't even driving. They're also getting the smoke.
Yeah,
He's
2
stabbing passengers.
2 of these people are sucking each other off in the backseat of an Uber, and they're getting stabbed, and they're just trying to hook up.
Guilty
you know?
by association.
Yeah.
Guilty by association.
God damn.
Man.
Well, yeah, I think we needed that good little palate cleanser, you know.
That's a
Some of
palate
the episodes
cleanser.
have been doing are heavy, and so, you know, a good start to the episode.
A
which
good
is-
old fashioned uncle style racism.
Right.
You know, this isn't that hateful racism. This is that type of stuff that goes, hey man, I just watched the wrong news for too long.
Yeah, this one here. Okay, yeah, so this is going to start. Yes, okay, dope. It's going to pick up, like, I think it might run an ad. Ugh. This is, for context, this is a funny story about, like, why we joked about you should go off your meds. Stay on your meds. Please.
Sure, yeah, you should probably stay on
in
your meds.
actuality, like, don't.
This is a comedy show, so we can tell you, to get off your meds is a joke, but
I'm so pro pill, it's crazy. Like, take everything. Even if you're like, whoa, this is a lot, it makes me feel bad. Do it anyway.
even if the
Take
doctors
them.
tell you not to.
Take them. Even if they tell you that's enough Xanax, keep going.
It's not, and there's never enough Xanax.
The whole script, take it in one day.
Are we starting at the beginning?
Right at the timestamp for 12, right here. This is perfect.
Start it up.
Yes, sir.
Man accused of threatening to kill President Joe Biden and Elon Musk in January is out of jail. He claims he, quote, went a little crazy and says it wasn't what it seemed. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis spoke exclusively with this man.
I make one New Year's resolution, and it has completely uprooted my life.
Justin McCauley, who was an engineer for Tesla, says his resolution was to stop taking his antidepressant medication.
So I white knuckled it.
That's when he says the side effects.
Dude, absolute G of an editor throwing that in. So I white knuckled it.
God damn, dude.
Man, sometimes Big Pharma's right.
Oh, man.
Sometimes Big Pharma got big because they had some wins, all right? This is one of the wins, dude, keeping this guy on pills.
Last night I took an L, but tonight I bounced back. Oh, bro.
I white knuckled it. Brother, if you have to white knuckle not doing your antipsychotics, maybe you should not have to white knuckle through that. Maybe you should relax.
Can you fast forward like a minute? Let's see. Yes, right here. This is funny. Yeah, right there. Okay, yeah, let's pick up right here. So he lives in Minnesota, and he decides that he's going to drive to Texas because he wants to kill Elon Musk himself.
That's called the Hajj of a sick man.
So going off his meds, he's decided, I'm going to kill my boss, Elon Musk, because he works for Tesla. Who doesn't want to kill their boss?
Yeah, that's why we have medication in the first place, to stop us all from killing our bosses.
That's correct, yeah.
Minnesota to Texas.
The original thought of me leaving Minnesota was to go see if I was actually losing my mind or are we being invaded at the border.
He says he made a stop in Oklahoma and his plan changed.
I rented a hotel room and I had this homeless man that I found who was covered in his own filth. I went to Walmart and bought this man socks, shoes, underwear, shirt, pants, took him to my hotel room.
Oh, no.
Got him a razor, a toothbrush, because the whole goal was to take that man to Tesla and try to get him a job.
Pause. What is it even? He's all over the place. This is how you know, like,
Little pet project.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I want to kill Biden. I want to kill Elon. Then I also want to see if the southern border is actually being invaded. The fuck does that have to do with Elon Musk?
It's not even about killing the president. It's about the homeless people you meet along the way.
It's about killing the demons inside you.
Sometimes you go out there to kill a head of state, and you find out you're really trying to kill the head of state of your mind.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not about the border. Sometimes it's about killing homeless people in Oklahoma.
I do like that he says, I found a homeless man covered in his own filth, as if that's rare. You know what I mean? It's like not one of those very well put together homeless people you see walking around Oklahoma. Man.
Let's skip another minute. Yeah.
He pretty womaned him. He said, I'm going to pretty woman this guy.
Yeah, right here. This is, okay. Right here, perfect.
You know, because I was in such a fog.
He says that's when he realized what he did.
And everything I did was completely insane. It seems like a bad dream.
McCauley has lost his job at Tesla, but says he now wants to be an advocate for people with mental health issues.
All of this is a big redirection of my life.
McCauley's wife ended up bonding him out about 2.5 weeks ago.
I never criminally did anything. How did I end up in jail and not in a crazy bin, in a psych ward? You know, like, there was never any criminal action other than terroristical threats.
That's what I wanted. That was the money shot. Oh my God, dude.
I didn't commit a crime outside of terroristic threats. That's jaywalking, baby. That's jaywalking. I'm always sympathetic towards crazy people because usually crazy people are driven to be crazy, right? By society or the conditions that they're in. This guy, no, it seems like he had a good job and just didn't take meds. You know what I mean? Usually if someone tells me like, hey, dude, I felt like I had to drive down to the border and kill the president, I'm like, oh, sounds like something's going on at home. This guy's like, no, I had a wife, I had a good life, I had a good job, didn't take my meds, decided to fucking pretty woman a homeless guy and kill Joe Biden.
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything wrong. My heart was pure. This is cancel culture. Oh, you lost your job just because you said you're going to kill the president after you pretty woman to homeless man? That's cancel culture, buddy. I also like that his kind of bounce back is I want to be an advocate for mental health.
That's
like,
what I wanted to talk about, yeah.
so funny. No, you should not be an advocate for mental health.
You should not be anywhere near, like, you're not the face of anything.
No.
You are not the face of mental health awareness.
You're the face of saying I didn't do anything wrong outside of terroristic threats. That's what you're the face of.
Okay, Paul, look at this picture of him. This face.
Same sweater.
This is not the, oh my God, it is the same sweater.
Hey.
Yeah. This is not the face of anything good. This is the face of, I swear to God, I thought she was 16. I thought she was 16. I swear to God, I thought she was 16, actually. This is the face of, I swear to God, I thought we were meeting in the rotunda on January 7th. I just came the wrong day. This is not the face of anything good. This is not the face of anything. This is not the leader of anything good.
What a sick society that we live in, that someone goes like, oh, I did something really crazy and bad. Maybe I should be famous.
Yeah, maybe I should be a hero.
Maybe I should be famous for this. Maybe everyone should know me for being crazy. Maybe people should know me as like the crazy wild guy, but I'm good. That's the thing. I'm dynamic. Maybe I'm crazy and I wanted to kill the president.
I'm agile. I'm
but
smart.
on the way, I saw one homeless man.
I'm cute. I'm quirky.
The sparkle in his eye brought me back to reality. So that's why I think I should be on this season of Love is Blind.
And what Daryl, the man from Oklahoma, and I spent that night in that motel room was special.
When he first started taking the homeless guy back to a hotel room, I was like, oh no, this is going to be the saddest murder sacrifice story. And he goes, I was going to get him a job at Tesla. Oh, okay, so you're
a hand
stupid.
job.
So you're like a stupid engineer. You're one of those engineers that's also like a dumb guy.
Most of them are not that smart.
Yeah.
They're like good at trigonometry and calculus, but then they like, you know.
Are you talking most engineers? Or
Yeah,
Engineers.
No, I'm talking about the Imagineers. The ones who see big picture, which is like we need to kill Elon and put a homeless man in his stead.
You know, God did whisper that in my ear as I fell asleep last night.
He said the South African must go. God kept saying, the South African must leave. He said, Daryl from Oklahoma, he's the rightful heir of X, formerly known as Twitter.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
Can we finish the video? I just love what this guy says.
Oh yeah, sure. This is like, there's like 2 or 3 seconds left.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
Come from my psychosis.
McCauley has a hearing March 27th.
That's it right there.
Wow, so we all think he's innocent, right? He's a friend of the pod and is innocent until proven guilty.
McCauley?
Yeah. Oh, his only crime?
Terroristic
threats? I know someone that went to jail. I think she spent a year in prison for terroristic threats because she called in a couple fake bomb threats to get out of work.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
You're in jail.
I can't, honestly, I can't really speak on it because I can't remember. I don't know if she spent time in jail or prison.
I'd imagine just jail.
Well, when you make bomb threats more than once, it is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, you're the...
You bomb threat me once, shame on me, right? Bomb threat me twice, girl, that's 2 felonies. We're going to stack those charges together.
Yeah, actually, it turns out you have priors, so...
Yeah. They hate, trust me, the government hates it when you threaten to blow something up these
They
days.
hate to see a girl winning. They hate it. They hate to see a girl out there having sex in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Making bombs into threats.
And the city, sex in the city, bombs in my backpack. I'm taking the subway.
Sulfur in the van.
Man, oh, can we pull up the eBay story?
Yeah, we can do that instead.
Oh, what are we doing first?
No,
No, we already had this up.
No. This was just a side. I feel like the eBay is a meteor story.
I've been reading on the eBay story for like 4 years because it's like the exact type of thing that I like to read about, which is when corporations do things that sound like a lie. Like when like a big company, like, you know, when the World Bank or like Amazon does something that sounds like it can't be true.
Yeah.
That's my favorite type of story.
And that's always like fun when it's like this like conglomerate that like with tentacles that rules the earth, right? It's Amazon. But eBay, it's just a place where you go buy a rug.
Yeah, that's just a douchebag's Craigslist. That's all eBay is.
It's where you go buy a pair of sneakers.
Man, so the first article I saw in this was by the couple that actually put it out. Can we Google the couple's name so we can pull up their old website? Their old website was just like a newsletter for people that sold on eBay. And it was heavily critical of eBay and the shit that they do, right? So like it was just different ways of like, you know, if eBay increased transaction fees or something like that, they'd put out an article and talk about it. And then if eBay, you know, changed some sort of policy as how you sell domestically. But the thing is, this newsletter, which was going on for a long time, was really popular in the eBay sellers world. Pretty sure it has 60,000 subscribers.
Wow.
I might be remembering that wrong, but it had a whole lot of subscribers. So at one point, the CEO of eBay is talking about this internally, and he sends off a text, and he says, destroy them.
Because he's tired of like this couple with a blog just trashing eBay.
Yeah, because we live in a world where you can have free speech. Unfortunately, I wish we just had State Department giving us talking points.
Sit on your hands and wait for that to go away.
Yeah.
Really, you've got about 4 years left.
Yeah. But it
was the Steiner family, David Steiner, and his wife doesn't have a name. Her name is Mrs. David Steiner.
I can't remember her name right now. It'll come up in one of the articles we have pulled up on it. But it was the Steiner family, and
Steiner.
The Steiners.
Oh, I think he said Snyder.
Oh no, the Steiners out of Boston or like some suburb of Boston or whatever.
Sure.
They're on the East Coast, and the way this case gets cracked is really interesting. We'll get there, but right out the gate, they start getting. They get an email from eBay being like, take your shit down, right? And they're like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're a blog.
So essentially, they get some form of communication from eBay or someone that represents eBay that's like, okay, well, you're going to pay for this.
Right.
And they start eBay proper, the CEO, the head of security, everyone in C-suite at eBay is well aware of this campaign against a couple with a blog. And the campaign starts with signing them up for newsletters, right? So like the initial harassment of this couple out of Boston, it starts and they start getting all these emails from like, you know, dildo sites, right? They start getting all these emails from like, hey, you joined the newsletter for the fucking bestiality forum, right? They start getting
little goofs and pranks.
Little goofs, the type of thing that you would do to a teacher if you had their email to fuck with them, right? You put it into like spam sites.
Yeah, you'd do bomb threats, but typically most people would just sign their teacher up for bestiality, which is illegal.
Me, personally, I go for the pipe bomb method. I'm a Christian. You might be trying the bestiality stuff.
Right.
Not so Christian.
Yeah.
But take her down. That's what the eBay CEO said. Take her down. Wild, right? So it starts with stuff like that.
Simple goofs.
Hate mail. Then they start getting boxes of live cockroaches. So they open a box and a bunch of live cockroaches come out of this box. I hate that. Right?
Fucking hate that.
Insane. Then live spiders.
Yeah, I don't like that.
They start getting photos, or they get an actual pig's masks, and they're getting emails calling them pigs, calling them dogs, insulting them. And then at one point, they send an actual dead fetus pigs to this family's house.
Oh, what the fuck?
Then the big like culminating we're scared for our life thing is David Steiner is at work, and to his work address, they send a book about grieving for the loss of your wife. And then send a funeral wreath to his wife's address addressed to her with her name on it. So like a corporation like eBay, someone with that type of power and money, threatening you like that, you think you're gonna fucking die. The funniest thing eBay did, this is actually honestly hilarious, is they would address boxes to the husband and then send it to their neighbors, and then the boxes would be like from like sex stores and gay sex porn shops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a very funny bit. We can admit that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
We can admit that eBay might be the bad guys in that story,
but sense of humor.
Pretty funny, right?
Pretty there.
Pretty funny. Yeah. It's a pretty funny bit. It was wrong. And they shouldn't have done that.
Should not.
And the power disbalance there, absolutely. Oh, this is their website, e-commerce bites. E-commerce bites since 1999, man. That's Ina Steiner. That's her, Ina Steiner.
Ina and David Steiner.
Man, they put out a victim impact
Ina
statement.
Steiner. That's a fun name.
Ina Steiner?
Ina Steiner.
That's an author's name. That is an author's name.
Or
So
it's maybe Ina. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I haven't met her yet.
Hey.
We'll cold call her after this, see if she wants to put out a
Ina,
statement.
I hardly knew.
But they are going to the police, and the police are like, yeah, I don't know if this is illegal. Finally, it gets to the death threats. What, like, you can perceive that as a death threat if you want. The funeral wreath and the grieving husband book.
It's a threat.
In the court of law, I don't know if they decided it's a threat, but it's a threat, right?
That's a threat.
That's a threat. That's a soft threat. That's like when someone scary tells you, hey, be safe walking home, My really scary friend from Houston used to say that to people that he didn't like. He'd be like, hey, man, why don't you just be safe out there today? And it'd always be really intimidating when he said it. And so I tried to do that to people I didn't like, but because of like my voice and demeanor, people just thought I was like hella concerned about their safety all the time. Like I'd be like, hey, yeah, be safe out there. Damn it, it's not intimidating at all. But they were doing that type of thing, like, hey, man, it's going to be bummer if you had to mourn your wife, stuff like that. So what ends up happening is the detectives finally get involved, and they see a car continuously passing by their house. Because they'd get a lot of phone call harassment, junk mail. Finally, they start to kind of see this car go around their house. And so they look into who rented the car. And it is a security officer at eBay who rented the car with eBay money and was staying at the Four Seasons in Boston. So the detectives show up, and the detectives assume that when they get to the Four Seasons, the security person's going to come down and say, yeah, I drove by their house. We have eyes on them. This is normal. They leave. The person calls down to the front desk and say, hey, tells the detective I'll be in the front office in just a minute. They buy a ticket and go back to Silicon Valley. So the detectives are like, oh shit, eBay's doing this, right? Which just sounds insane. eBay is harassing this couple that has a blog that just doesn't like eBay sometimes. And they're harassing this couple to the point where they feel tortured and cyber-stalked, right?
Yeah, they're being threatened.
They're being threatened with death. You're sending live. If you sent live spiders to my house, I'd burn my fucking house down. I wouldn't be able to live there anymore.
The roach, is it weird that the roaches affect me more than the spiders?
Everyone has different fears. They don't make sense.
Yeah.
Are you like really scared of roaches?
No, they're just so gross. The way they shine and reflect light, it's so disgusting to me.
No issue that. I am terrified of spiders, like shaking fear. Like I can't even kill spiders. It makes me sick.
Right now.
My wife kills the bugs in our house because I'm really scared of them.
I let spiders live. I'm one of those hippies.
That's disgusting, and I hate that.
I really do. I catch them in a little cup, and then I let them outside.
I have fucking like my whole body just got hot when you said that. Kill the spiders in your house, please. They're gonna get back in.
What do you do, Jim?
For sure, kill them.
Kill them, because if you let them out, they'll get back into your house.
They got in once.
And they also know that you're one of those guys that won't stand up for their home. That's a spade I can just post up anytime I want. You're sending a message out to spiders that's only encouraging more spiders to get into your home.
Well, it depends on the spider, I guess.
No, it's all spiders. All spiders want to bite me. I can tell. Oh, those ones don't bite humans. They haven't met me, baby.
You don't like the way that they drive around with the top down, blasting their music, huh?
I just lived in a world where spiders stayed in their lane and we stayed in ours, all right? I'm scared of spiders. I don't want them around.
I really just wish the spiders had their own schools and cops. That's what I would like. Frankly, what I would like is if them spiders had their own firefighters. I don't know why I made it this guy Italian.
Yeah, kind of like an angry Italian.
Yeah,
That's your go-to when you think of someone in your head. Is
Me?
like, yeah, you go
Me?
Italian or Yinzer.
Yeah.
Italian or Yinzer, those are like the characters that Sam has in the back to kind of like come out to the front to say the things that Sam doesn't want to say.
Yeah.
A Yinzer can say that.
Yeah, whenever I have to like tell someone like, hey, I really have feelings for you. I don't know really what's going on, like the way you make my body move, the way you make my heart sing, babe girl. Like for real though, like you make my heart sing.
Yeah, Sam's in therapy and he's like, yeah, I don't know. Middle school was definitely difficult. But that teacher, he really made me feel like I was special.
Yo, here's the thing, though. Like, he touched my penis, and it didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. I was like, this is a teacher. He shouldn't be doing this.
I didn't want to be doing this, but he just made me feel like it was the only way out of his class.
And, I just felt like if I told somebody, we'd both get in trouble. And
You sound like Marky Mark. You're like
I'm making in Boston more and more,
Because we're talking about Boston, you got that demon in your head.
I got those Catholic priests. And nothing happened to me as far as I know.
Man.
So this detective and like the team of detectives, and I got to imagine as a detective, that's mostly like, yeah, dude, I just investigate robberies I don't solve. To get something like this, you got to be juiced out of your mind, right? If you're a detective that's like, all I've ever done is like, yeah, more gang shootings we're not going to solve because we don't actually care. To get this, they're going to be like, this is it, dude. This is like the type of thing you talk about at dinner for the rest of your life. If you're a detective, this is like the jackpot, I imagine, because they look into this and they start to find that everything was bought on outside of like that rental car and that person actually being there in Boston to see those person in real life. Everything that was purchased for these people to send to their house were bought on those debit cards, those Visa debit cards you can get at like grocery stores. They were bought in Silicon Valley, less than a mile away from eBay headquarters. So we come to find out after the detectives start to like build a case enough to get evidence from eBay that all the C-suite people are talking about this, right? They're talking about it. They know what's going on. And then once they actually get charged, they're told, hey, don't delete any messages. Don't delete any messages because that's felony. That's a felony to destroy evidence in an active investigation. And then all the eBay guys do. They delete all their messages and try to delete as much emails as possible, and none of them get charged. So, for that at least, I mean. So, they end up charging 6 of these guys, and then that are like actually like boot on the ground security guys with cyber stalking, harassment, things like that. I think a couple other charges, witness tampering, obstruction of justice, stalking through electric communication services. So a 6-count prosecution. So, here's the thing that fucking kills me. Can we search the CEO of eBay's name? It's like David Wang or something like that.
They're gonna pay $3 million in fines. It seems pretty light.
Yeah. The guy before this, his name's Devin Winnig. That guy right there. So this guy, he was the president and CEO of eBay. He was well aware of this harassment. He even knowingly gave coaching on how to hide their involvement by buying those debit cards that are bought at stores instead of tying them directly to your own name. Search what he does now. Search how he's paying for this crime of harassing people that were expressing their First Amendment right. Look what he does.
Can you just tell us?
I can't remember.
Oh.
It's like he is the
Let's go up. Let's go.
Oh, so he got $57 million to leave the company as CEO. They said, hey, man, you harassed these people. You were a dog. You attacked these people.
The fine was $3 million, and your reward is $57 million.
Insane. So it's not the Salesforce thing. He went on to be a board member for the Boys and Girls Club of Silicon Valley. I don't remember his exact role. That's why I was saying Google it. But he went on to do some shit that was with the Boys and Girls Club. And I'll tell you right now, dude, if you're if you are involved in like an interstate incident of cyber stalking, if you've harassed people for expressing their constitutional rights, maybe you shouldn't be involved in children's nonprofits. Maybe you shouldn't be involved in shit like that because you're not a trust. Yeah, he landed the top job at Boys and Girls Club of Silicon Valley. That is insane to me.
That's actually really fucked up.
Isn't that so fucked up?
That is. You're known to have like threatened people's lives, and now you're being close to children. You shouldn't be close to anyone. You should be like, behind bars for a little bit.
So I'm of the opinion that this guy should definitely be in prison, right?
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that giving this guy $57 million was bullshit. That's my opinion. What's even worse is putting him in charge of people that have any amount of vulnerability. Like, that is insane. That's how you get situations like the World Bank across Africa with that fucking school. It's shit like this. People that are, not only not held accountable, we knowingly understood what he did. We know he tampered with evidence. We know he was involved with cyber stalking and harassing a couple for purely speaking out against the company that he works for. And now he's going to be in charge of a vulnerable population in Silicon Valley. Fucking insane. Sicko shit, dude. Oh, did you guys see that link I sent you of that lawyer in Tennessee?
No.
Oh, dude. All right, we'll talk about it another time. It's crazy. I'll send it to you. But it's just a similar situation. I feel like so much of what we talk about is going to be, it's you call it corporate rot.
Yeah.
It's corporate rot. These people are not your friends. And I'm not even anti-business, right? Like, eBay 100% could be a company that not only helps with fucking, like, the environment, right? Reusing shit. Reduce, reuse, recycle, right? Reuse is the second one. eBay can be a part of that, right? eBay can make a very positive impact on this world.
Sell your Beanie Babies and cash out.
Cash out, dude. It's time to cash out those Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
It's about time to cash out those Beanie Babies. But yeah, this guy makes me sick, man. It is wild, the types of perversion that you can get away with when you got a little bit of money, some rich friends, and a really good resume.
Fuck. Well, thanks for telling us about that story, man.
Yeah, I remember when it first. So the reason I started following along with this story is because the couple spoke out long before. Like, couple was speaking out in like 2018.
Yeah, I do feel so bad for these people. All they wanted to do was just like have a little like project as a couple, and you know they're just their lives are fucking being.
And they utilize this business. That's the thing too. Is like
they're not
technically
anti-eBay.
No, they're partnered with eBay. These are people that have to work within eBay in order for their livelihood and the people who consume the news they put out about that livelihood to exist. So they should work, together with eBay. This should be something that isn't, contradictory to the good standing of eBay. Right. It shouldn't be at all. It's eBay's checks and balances, if you will.
What a funny word, eBay.
You know what it stands for?
No.
Electronic Bay.
Oh, wow.
I think.
Wow.
I don't know, to be honest. I just guessed. What does eBay stand for? Eco Bay Technology Group. Bro, I was close. Right?
Echo Bay, Echo Bay. Huh.
Echo? That's not eco?
I don't
No,
know.
with
yeah,
an
it has
H,
an
it's
H.
Echo.
Oh, they tried to do Echo Bay, but it was already registered to a gold mining company. So they just shortened it. They took out the...
Wow.
That's history.
Hell yeah. What else you want to talk about?
Man, I mean, the eBay thing was the thing that juiced me up like crazy.
I mean, it's a crazy story. It's
we'll
an
put
example
one of the links in the
because there's so many
description.
stories of like corporations like fucking over society in mass, right? You look at like banks that like shorted the stock market or like blew up the housing bubble. It's like an example where like a corporation or a company is just negatively affecting whole of society. And this is an example where a company just takes an interest in one household.
We went through this push propaganda-wise where everyone was trying to say corporations are people, right?
Well, the courts have decided they are.
Then why aren't these corporations in fucking prison? If corporations are people, why can't they be charged all individually? Why is David Winnig fucking in charge of some shit?
Because these companies, they have good character. They make mistakes. This company is only like 12 years old as a company. 12-year-olds shouldn't be tried. They're people.
Well, would you kill a
if it's a young
12-year-old?
company, they're naive. They're they're hormonal. They're not themselves yet. They're not self-actualized. Oh no, my company. Yes, my company poisoned your dog and killed it, but my company's only 4 years old.
You want to put a 4-year-old in prison?
You wouldn't. I wouldn't.
You sound insane.
Would you?
No.
And no.
Corporations are people.
Corporations are people.
And they're all babies. And they're all babies. But yeah, I know in recent times there's been the fine, but this is a 2024 resolution for harassment that happened, 2017 through 2019. So it's something where it's like, yeah, hey, 5 years later, a $3 million fine, and then everyone that was involved in these people's harassment just get good jobs and get to go do their own thing.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah. Hey, when we're in charge, when comedians finally get to be president,
Yeah.
everyone's going to prison.
Yeah.
Everyone. We're doing it El Salvador style. Prison first and then court. You guys following the El Salvador?
No, what's going on in El Salvador?
Oh, for real? That president that arrested everyone?
Man, I got to be honest. That's like all those countries over there.
No, this one's wild.
For me, when I look at Central America, it's like, hey, the president arrested everybody, killed everybody, and then there was a coup, and then the new president, they just like a revolving door of arresting.
This president is actually really popular.
More than 1% of the country's population.
Yeah. So about like the civil wars in El Salvador and the essentially, we Western powers went in there and made, try to crush whatever communist movement was going on.
We installed puppet regimes.
They
were friendly to our capitalist endeavors.
And then a guerrilla movement within the Communist Party continued to struggle on, and it was this big civil war. And then they come to what's called the peace agreements. I think it was called.
Okay.
The peace agreements are where people that were part of, I think it was the FLLM, which was the communist movement there, got to take a certain amount of seat in their state Congress, and then they wouldn't go to war anymore, right? That was like the deal. Hey, we'll end the war, but we get some form, we get a seat at the table, and a big seat at the table. So this guy, the president of El Salvador, massively popular, super right, super Christian, kind of like a libertarian vibes, arrests all the gang members. fucking everyone. He used to be just like a mayor, kind of a governor of this one town, and he would work with gang members and cartels and, you know, essentially made agreements and alliances with them. And then at one point, he just arrests everyone. And he goes, this country's corrupt. We're going to turn back to Jesus. And we are going to save this country from the cartels and the gangs. So I don't live there. And from my perspective, it looks how you describe. This looks like, you know, fucking fascism, right? But I've talked to 2 El Salvadorians that actually have family there. And apparently, whether he's right or wrong, wildly popular. Like, the people there love this guy because they went from one of the most dangerous places in the world to a place that's safer than Canada as far as murder and violent crimes are concerned.
Damn.
El Salvador.
Damn.
Yeah, but like you
Which
said,
means it's safer than America, because
Yeah.
Canada's safer than here.
yeah. I mean,
Wow.
so I don't know. I'm not
mean,
like
yeah, look at that picture. I mean, that's safer than America.
Dude, look
no,
at
that
the-
for real is. That look that they're all you know, that's go ahead.
Look at there's mass incarceration. Like, look at the photos there. The one right next to the one that you're looking at.
Look-
How many people are in prison? And they're in prisons like this too, where they're all in their underwear. They don't separate the gangs there.
Here's the thing. Mass incarceration, as far as this podcast is concerned, is a good thing. What JT is saying is that a prison population should be larger. Like, America's prison population is larger than any other country's prison populations combined. And what he's saying is he's seeing countries finally come to their senses and try to catch up.
They're trying to catch up.
Yes, we need more people behind bars.
Oh.
That's good.
I
Look
mean-
at this. Look at this. You get to wear a sash. You get to be a president, and yeah, you want people rounded up.
What's
Sorry.
hard to
I gotta
argue
be a
with-
contrarian little cunt.
No, I mean, you're right. So, like, I know that you're being goofy, but it's like, I've never lived in a country so
6,000
violent.
arrested in 10 days.
Yeah, but I've also, this seems like, you know, the heaviest
Hey.
hand of authoritarian government you could
Hey.
ever imagine.
Round them all up.
Right. If you got a tattoo that says the number 18, you're going to go to prison, buddy.
Sorry.
That's really how it worked. Everyone with tattoos, everyone that was a suspected gang member. And I mean, to be fair, if you have face tattoos that say like MS-13,
I mean, I'm being
You're
facetious, but like, I'm a hard on crime guy.
are you really?
No.
Oh, I'm honestly kind of hard on crime guy. I like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Crime is not good, is how I feel.
I feel like crime's not good. I'm willing to say that. I'll go out on a limb and say crime's bad. And I'll also go out on a limb and say these guys they weren't born with face tattoos that say MS-13. They went through horrible conditions in life, including trying to, immigrate and work within like established gangs. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not their fault, right? It's your fault if you get involved in gang shit and do violent shit. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I don't know a solution. I would never propose this though, right?
No.
I would never propose, let's just arrest everyone you think's a gang member. But now they don't have murderers anymore.
Damn, honestly, yeah, throw them all in.
It's confusing.
I mean,
I want to talk to more El Salvadorians about it.
the problem is we need criminals in America to keep the prisons open. Does that make sense? You need criminals on the street to justify having the prisons here.
Yeah.
Over there, they just put the prisons behind the bars. Instead, what we do is we keep the criminals out on the streets to justify the prisons, and then we put people with marijuana charges in the prison.
In the prison, make
But you need
money
the
off
actual
it.
violent criminals out to keep justifying the prisons.
Otherwise, you won't be afraid.
Yeah, otherwise you won't be afraid.
If you don't
Here-
have fear behind you.
Here they put them in prison, all the criminals, the violent ones, and now everybody's at peace. You can't have that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's a complex thing where I'm like, the 2 El Salvadorians I talked to, I mean, they were like, yeah, it was a violent, scary nation, and now it's not. How can you not like it?
Honestly, let's do it. Hey,
Let's do it. Let's arrest more people.
we're out of time, guys. Or where we at time-wise?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're right at it, So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us today.
And if you know any El Salvadorians that know anything about this Naib fella, we'd love to know your opinion on him.
We'd like to talk to the president of El Salvador.
Let's have him on the pod.
Let's do it.
It's El Salvador. It can't be
Yeah.
that hard to get in
Come
touch with.
on. They just got cell phones over there.
Not yet. They're sneaking into that prison. That prison is the only place with cell phones because they're smuggling them in.
My name is Sam Castillo.
I'm JT Kelley.
With us is
What's up, Jimmy Clifford?
What's Up, Jimmy Clifford. We'll see you next week on the internet.
See you in Salvador.